Captain Reina Martinez had always believed that the most difficult decisions in space would involve complex orbital calculations or emergency protocols. Never had she imagined that her most crucial choice would come down to a simple matter of compassion versus duty. The International Space Station's proximity alert had triggered at 0300 hours, station time. Initial scans showed what appeared to be a small meteoroid on an approaching trajectory. But as Martinez watched the object's controlled deceleration through the cupola's observation window, her heart nearly stopped. The object's metallic surface reflected Earth's glow in ways no natural formation could, and its movements defied every known law of physics. "Station to Houston. We have an anomaly," she began. But her transmission was cut short by a burst of interference that knocked out all communications. The object, now clearly visible as a sleek vessel no larger than a shuttle pod, took up position 50 meters from the station. Its hull bore marks of severe damage, with what appeared to be crystalline growth sprouting from multiple breach points. Dr. Patel, Professor Novak, to the cupola immediately. Martinez called through the internal comm. Within minutes, her two fellow crew members arrived, their faces matching her own expression of wonder and apprehension. "That's impossible," whispered Dr. Rajesh Patel, the station's chief scientist, his dark eyes wide behind his glasses. "The energy readings, they're off the charts." Professor Katerina Novak, their xenobiologist, was already recording everything with their backup systems. "Those crystalline formations," she said, her Czech accent thickening with excitement, "they're growing. It's some kind of containment measure, but it's failing." Before anyone could respond, a beam of pale blue light connected the vessel to the station's hull, bypassing their shielding as if it didn't exist. In that beam materialized three figures that defied description. Their forms seemed to shift between solid and liquid, their skin translucent and pulsing with internal light. One of them was clearly injured, its essence leaking a luminescent fluid that dissipated into vapor. Martinez's training kicked in. "This is first contact protocol. We need to alert." She stopped as one of the beings raised what appeared to be an arm, projecting images directly into their minds. They saw vast armadas of hostile ships held at bay by an invisible force, countless worlds preserved from destruction, and at the center of it all, Earth, glowing like a precious jewel. The images shifted to show the being's own vessel, part of an ancient network of guardians, damaged in a battle protecting Earth from a threat humanity never knew existed. Their mission was secret, their existence unknown to those they protected. And now, they needed help. "The protocols are clear," Patel whispered, though his voice wavered. "We have to report this." But Martinez saw something in these beings that transcended protocol. In their weakened state, they had chosen to reveal themselves not to world leaders or military commands, but to three scientists aboard a research station. They were trusting in humanity's capacity for compassion over its instinct for fear. "No," Martinez said firmly. "Look at what they've shown us. They've been protecting us, keeping us safe while we grew, learned, and explored. They need our help now, and if we report this, we risk exposing their entire network. Earth isn't ready for this knowledge." Novak stepped forward, her scientific curiosity warring with concern. "The crystalline growth. It's trying to contain a cascade failure in their dimensional drive. Without proper containment, the explosion would tear apart half the solar system." The injured being's light pulsed weaker, and Martinez made her decision. "Professor, you've been studying experimental containment fields. Dr. Patel, your work on quantum stabilization, could we adapt it?" For the next 12 hours, as Earth rotated beneath them unaware, three humans worked alongside beings from beyond the stars. They combined human innovation with advanced alien technology, using the station's resources in ways their designers never imagined. Patel's theoretical models became reality as they stabilized the dimensional drive. Novak's containment theories proved crucial in halting the crystalline growth. And Martinez, her spacewalk training put to the ultimate test, helped repair the vessel's hull using techniques that would revolutionize engineering, if they were ever made public. As the beings prepared to depart, they shared one final vision: countless civilizations across the galaxy, united not by conquest or fear, but by acts of kindness and trust. They showed how humanity's potential for compassion had earned them their protection long ago, and how this moment, these three humans choosing to help rather than exploit or fear, had confirmed that protection for centuries to come. The damaged vessel disappeared as quietly as it had arrived, leaving behind no evidence of its existence. Martinez and her crew returned to their duties, carrying a secret that would both burden and inspire them. They had glimpsed a truth few humans would ever know, that in a universe of wonders and terrors, Earth was protected not because of its weapons or walls, but because long ago, and again today, humans had proven themselves worthy of protection through simple acts of compassion. 3 months later, when a routine solar flare knocked out communications for several hours, only Martinez and her crew knew that it wasn't a solar flare at all, but their hidden guardians averting yet another threat. They watched Earth's night side glitter with cities and lives unknowingly safe under distant, watchful eyes, and they understood that sometimes the greatest power lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the choice to protect those who don't even know they need protection. In her private log, encrypted and stored where only she could access it, Martinez wrote, "Today we learned that humanity's greatest strength isn't in our technology or our weapons, but in our capacity to show kindness to the unknown. Our silent guardians protect us not because we are weak, but because long ago we proved we were strong enough to be kind when we could have chosen fear instead." Anomaly detected in Sector 7. The words cut through the hushed atmosphere of the Void-born Dominion's flagship bridge like a plasma blade. Fleet Commander Nixis turned all 4 of her eyes toward the sensor display, mandibles clicking in irritation. This was supposed to be a simple conquest mission. The holographic display showed their target, Earth, a backwater planet that had barely achieved primitive space flight. The Dominion had conquered dozens of such worlds without resistance. But something about this reading made her scales bristle. "Analysis, first observer Krell," she commanded, her crystalline exoskeleton catching the light as she moved closer to the display. Krell's fingers danced across the bioneural interface. "The anomaly appears to be nothing, Commander. Nothing doesn't trigger our sensors, Krell. That's just it, sir. Our scans show a complete void of space-time and a sphere surrounding the planet. It's as if something is deliberately hiding from our instruments." Nixis had not become the youngest fleet commander in Dominion history by ignoring her instincts. "Launch probe drones. Full spectrum analysis. And get me everything we have on Earth's defense capabilities." The bridge crew worked in efficient silence, their chitinous appendages moving with practiced precision across their stations. Nixis studied the planet below. Such a prize it would make, rich in resources, strategically positioned, and populated by a species still young enough to be properly molded into serving the Dominion. "Probe drones deployed," announced Second Observer Vex. "Approaching the anomaly zone now." The entire bridge crew watched as the drones crossed an invisible threshold. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, one by one, they simply vanished. "Impossible," Krell whispered. "There was no energy signature, no weapon discharge. They're just gone." Nixis's antenna twitched. "Show me the last transmissions from the drones." The holographic display shifted, showing the final moments from multiple drone perspectives. In the fraction of a second before they disappeared, each drone recorded the same thing, a brief shimmer in space, like light bending around a cloaked object. Cross-reference with Dominion archives, Nixis ordered. "Search for similar phenomena." The ship's quantum processors hummed. After several moments, ancient records began floating across the display. Nixis's eyes widened as she read. 3 previous expeditions to Earth, spanning back centuries. All had disappeared without a trace. "Sir," Vex called out, their voice trembling slightly. "I'm detecting an energy signature. Something's emerging from the anomaly." The bridge fell silent as a massive shape materialized before their fleet. It was unlike any ship Nixis had ever seen. Its hull seemed to be made of living crystal, pulsing with internal light. It was beautiful, ancient, and absolutely terrifying. Incoming transmission, Krell announced. It's being broadcast in ancient Dominion dialect. Put it through, Nixis ordered, straightening her posture. A figure appeared on the main display, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline form. When it spoke, its voice resonated with the age of stars. I am Guardian Ethereal Xylith of the Celestial Covenant. You have entered protected space. Withdraw immediately. Nixis felt her crew's eyes on her. This was the moment that would define her career, or end it. This is Fleet Commander Nixis of the Void-born Dominion. We claim this sector by right of expansion. The species below has no interstellar treaties, no protection pacts. They have something far more valuable, Xylith responded. They have our gratitude. Images began flooding every screen on the bridge, scenes from Earth's history, but not the battles and conquests the Dominion had expected. Instead, they saw humans helping injured animals, sacrificing themselves to save strangers, extending kindness to those different from them. And then, something extraordinary. Ancient footage of humans discovering a crashed ship, not Covenant but similar. Instead of attacking or exploiting it, they helped repair it, kept its existence secret, asked for nothing in return. Observe, Xylith continued, while your civilizations focused on conquest, humans developed art that moves souls across galaxies. While you perfected weapons, they perfected healing. While you sought power, they sought understanding. They are under our protection not because they are weak, but because they showed us a different kind of strength. More ships were appearing now, emerging from what Nixis now recognized as dimensional pockets. Her tactical display showed their fleet completely surrounded by vessels of designs she'd never seen before, each more advanced than the last. Your species values strength, Xylith said. Know then that humanity's greatest strength lies not in their weapons, but in their hearts. The Covenant protects them because long ago, they taught us that true power lies in choosing kindness over conquest. Nixis found herself thinking of her own history, of how she'd risen through the ranks not just through combat prowess, but through strategic innovation and understanding of other species. Perhaps there was something to learn here. The Dominion fleet will withdraw, she announced, ignoring the surprised clicks from her crew. But I request permission to establish an observation post at the system's edge, not for military purposes, but to study. Xylith's form seemed to brighten. Granted, under our supervision. Perhaps you will learn what we learned, that sometimes the greatest discoveries come not from conquest, but from watching, learning, and understanding. As the Dominion fleet retreated, Nixis remained at the observation window, watching Earth rotate slowly below. She thought of all the empire-building species in the galaxy, herself included, who had never considered that true power might lie not in taking, but in protecting. In choosing to understand rather than conquer. In her private log that cycle, she wrote, Today we encountered not just a protected world, but a protected idea that compassion might be the most powerful force in the universe. The Dominion seeks strength. Perhaps it's time we redefined what strength means. Horizons dawn. This is mission control. You are clear to proceed with deep space initialization. The voice crackled through the ship's comm system as Dr. Marcus Thaddeus ran his final systems check. Humanity's first deep space expedition vessel hummed with potential, its revolutionary quantum drive ready to take them further than any human had gone before. Acknowledged, Control. Beginning initialization sequence, Marcus responded, his dark fingers dancing across the holographic interface. Around him, his carefully selected crew worked with focused precision. Lieutenant Olivia Chun at navigation, Dr. Benjamin Cole handling quantum mechanics, and First Officer Diana Russell overseeing operations. The ship's AI, Aria, Advanced Research Intelligence Assistant, projected their planned trajectory through the Kuiper Belt. But as the quantum drive spooled up, something unexpected appeared on their sensors. Doctor, Lieutenant Chin called out, her voice tense. I'm detecting an anomalous structure at coordinates 47, Mark 3. Marcus frowned. Nothing should be out there except ice and rock. Aria, analysis? Structure appears artificial in nature, the AI responded. Approximately 3 kilometers in length. Construction materials unknown. No match in current databases. Mission control, are you seeing this? Marcus asked. Static was his only answer. They were being jammed. Full stop, Marcus ordered. Diana, what's your read? First Officer Russell was already analyzing the data. It's old, Doctor. The wear pattern suggests it's been here for at least a century. But there's still power readings, and something else. The structure appears to be shifting, as if it's partially out of phase with our reality. Marcus made a decision that would change humanity's understanding of its place in the universe. Take us in closer. Full sensor sweep. As they approached, the structure became visible through the ship's observation windows. It was unlike anything they'd ever seen. A massive station that seemed to flicker between dimensions, its architecture defying Earth physics. Life support systems detected, Dr. Cole reported. Atmosphere reads as compatible with human needs. That's impossible, Diana whispered. This station couldn't have been built by humans, but it's perfectly suited for us. Before Marcus could respond, a beam of energy shot from the station, enveloping their ship in a soft blue light. Instead of panic, Marcus felt an overwhelming sense of calm. The beam was not a weapon, it was an invitation. Prepare for boarding investigation, he ordered. Full environmental suits. Chen, Cole, you're with me. Diana, maintain ship command. The station's docking system matched perfectly with their airlock, another impossibility that sent Marcus's scientific mind reeling. As they stepped into the station's corridors, their helmet lights revealed walls covered in flowing symbols that seemed to shift and change as they watched. These markings, Cole muttered, scanning them with his handheld device. They're recording devices. This entire station is like a vast library. Look at this, Shin called from a nearby chamber. They entered what appeared to be a control room, its displays springing to life at their presence. What they saw took their breath away. Countless records of Earth's history played across the screens, but not the history they knew. They saw massive alien fleets approaching Earth across the centuries, each turned away by forces unseen. They watched as beings of pure energy and advanced technology maintained a constant vigil around their planet, protecting humanity without their knowledge. They've been protecting us, Marcus breathed. All this time. A hologram materialized in the center of the room, a recorded message left by the station's creators. The being that appeared was beautiful and terrifying, its form barely comprehensible to human minds. If you are seeing this, it said in perfect English, then humanity has achieved the capability for deep space travel. This station serves as a record of your protection and a testament to why you earned it. The hologram showed scenes from Earth's past, humans helping injured animals, providing aid to strangers, choosing compassion over conflict. But most importantly, it showed something that made Marcus's heart stop. The first contact between humans and these advanced beings, centuries ago, when a small group of humans had helped repair a crashed ship and kept its existence secret. Your species showed us something rare in the universe, the hologram continued. The capacity to help those different from you without seeking advantage. To show kindness without demanding reward. We have protected you since that day, allowing you to develop at your own pace, free from external interference. Suddenly, the station shuddered. New displays activated, showing a massive fleet approaching Earth, one that had somehow slipped through the protective network. Doctor, Arya's voice came through their comms, the stations. Systems are interfacing with my matrix. This facility, it's not just a record keeper. It's a control center for Earth's entire defense network. Marcus felt the weight of history on his shoulders. They had found not just evidence of humanity's protectors, but a means to join them in their mission. The question was, were they ready for such responsibility? The station is awakening, Cole reported, watching his dormant systems hum to life. It's been waiting for us. Marcus touched one of the flowing symbols on the wall, and knowledge flooded his mind. The station had indeed been waiting. waiting for humanity to reach a point where they could understand their role not just as the protected, but as protectors themselves. "Contact Diana," he ordered. "We need to prepare for immediate return to Earth. We've found something more important than deep space exploration. We've found our place in the galaxy." As they prepared to leave, Marcus recorded a message in his personal log. "We came looking for humanity's future in the stars. Instead, we found our past, our protectors, and a choice. Now we must decide. Are we ready to join those who have watched over us for so long? Are we ready to protect others as we were protected?" The answer, I believe, lies in the very reason we were chosen for protection in the first place, our capacity to care for those different from ourselves. Grand Admiral Bridget Kethris stood before the United Earth Council, her weathered face illuminated by the holographic display showing an impossible sight, a vast armada of ships unlike anything humanity had ever encountered, approaching from beyond Neptune's orbit. "Ladies and gentlemen," she addressed the assembled leaders, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. 12 hours ago, the Horizon's Dawn returned from its deep space mission with information that changes everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe. The chamber erupted in murmurs as she played Dr. Thaddeus's footage from the mysterious station. Images of Earth's secret history flashed across the screens. Centuries of hidden protection, ancient encounters, and a legacy of compassion that had earned humanity unknown allies. "And now," Kethris continued, "we face our first true test. This approaching force." She gestured to the tactical display. "They're called the Void Collective. According to the station's records, they're unlike any previous threat. They don't seek conquest. They seek to harvest the very essence of civilizations. They've already destroyed the outer defensive network." Council President Okonjo leaned forward. "What are our options, Admiral?" Before Kethris could respond, every screen in the chamber flickered. A figure materialized in the center of the room, tall, ethereal, its form composed of shifting light and crystal. Several council members gasped, but Kethris maintained her composure. "I am High Guardian Lysandra of the Ethereal Covenant," the being announced, its voice resonating with otherworldly harmony. "Humanity's time of isolation must end. The Void Collective threatens not just Earth, but the very principle of compassion that we have protected for centuries." Kethris stepped forward. "You've been protecting us all this time. Why reveal yourselves now?" "Because now, humanity must choose," Lysandra replied. "The Void Collective cannot be defeated by force alone. They are a plague born from the absence of empathy, consuming civilizations that have lost their capacity for connection. Your species' greatest strength, your ability to care for the unknown, may be the key to stopping them." The tactical display updated, showing the full scope of the crisis. The Void Collective wasn't just attacking Earth, they were targeting every world under the Covenant's protection, systematically destroying the network that had safeguarded developing civilizations for millennia. "If we are to survive," Lysandra continued, "we must forge a true alliance. Not between protector and protected, but between equals who understand that the greatest power lies in choosing to help others." President Okonjo rose. "What exactly are you proposing?" "A merging of our capabilities. Your creativity, your adaptability, your profound capacity for empathy, combined with our technology and knowledge. But it must be a choice freely made, with full understanding of the consequences." Kethris studied the tactical displays, her military mind already seeing possibilities that neither humanity nor the Covenant had considered alone. "You've been protecting us because we showed compassion to your kind centuries ago. Now you're asking us to do it again, on a galactic scale." "Yes," Lysandra confirmed. "The station Dr. Thaddeus discovered was more than a record keeper. It was a test. You found it when you were ready, when your first deep space mission was driven not by conquest, but by a desire to understand." The chamber fell silent as the implication sank in. Humanity had been watched, protected, and guided, not toward military might or technological supremacy, but toward a moment when they could help save the very beings who had been protecting them. "The Void Collective will reach Earth in 72 hours, Kethris announced. "We need to make a decision." President Okonjo looked around the chamber, then stood. We've spent our history looking to the stars, wondering if we were alone. Now we know we never were. The question isn't whether to fight. It's whether we'll fight only for ourselves or for something greater. The vote was unanimous. What followed was the most intense preparation in human history. The Covenant shared technologies beyond human understanding, but it was humanity's innovative application of these gifts that proved crucial. Kethris worked alongside beings of pure energy, developing strategies that combined human intuition with cosmic power. They discovered that the Void Collective's weakness was precisely what humanity had in abundance, the ability to forge connections across differences, to find common ground with the utterly alien. The Covenant's advanced technology could disrupt the Collective's physical form, but only humanity's capacity for empathy could reach whatever consciousness remained within. As the final hours approached, Kethris stood on the bridge of Earth's first hybrid vessel, the Compassion's Light, its hull gleaming with a combination of human engineering and Covenant crystal technology. Around her, human officers worked in perfect synchronization with ethereal beings, their differences forgotten in the face of a common cause. "All forces report ready," her executive officer announced. Kethris touched the crystalline command interface, feeling the ship's consciousness merge with her own, a gift from the Covenant that required not just technological expertise, but the ability to truly connect with another form of life. "Send to all ships, human and Covenant alike," she ordered. "We stand together not because we must, but because we choose to. We fight not just for survival, but for the right of all species to grow, learn, and show kindness to others." The Void Collective believes that compassion is weakness. We will show them that it is the greatest strength in the universe. As the combined fleet moved to engage the enemy, Kethris added a final entry to her log. "Today we repay an ancient debt, not with violence, but with the very quality that earned us protection so long ago, our willingness to help others, even at great cost to ourselves. Perhaps that is humanity's true destiny among the stars." Lieutenant Jade Wong stood at her station aboard the Compassion's Light, watching as the Void Collective's massive fleet emerged from hyperspace. The enemy ships were unlike anything she'd ever seen, vessels that seemed to consume light itself, their hulls writhing with tendrils of dark energy that reached hungrily toward the combined human Covenant fleet. "All stations, battle readiness," her commanding officer, Captain Hiroaki Tanaka, ordered. Around her, humans worked alongside ethereal beings in perfect harmony, their differences forgotten in the face of extinction. "First wave approaching," Jade reported, her hands steady on the crystalline interface that merged Covenant technology with human intuition. "Energy signatures are, sir, they're not just attacking our ships. They're targeting the space between realities." Through the neural link provided by the hybrid technology, Jade could feel the Void Collective's true nature. They weren't just destroyers. They were consumers of consciousness itself, entities that had long ago abandoned emotion and connection in pursuit of pure power. "Remember your training," came the telepathic voice of Lysandra, the High Guardian now linked to every crew member in the fleet. "The Collective cannot be defeated by weapons alone. They must be reminded of what they've lost." The battle erupted across multiple dimensions. Covenant ships phased between realities while human vessels executed maneuvers that would have been impossible weeks ago. But the Collective was overwhelming, their darkness spreading like a cancer through space itself. "Multiple breaches in Sector 7, Jade called out. "They're targeting the Covenant's crystal matrix, the network that protects developing worlds." Captain Tanaka's voice remained calm. "Lieutenant Wong, implement protocol empathy." Jade's hands moved across the interface as she activated the experimental system she'd helped develop, a merger of human emotional resonance and Covenant quantum technology. The ship's crystal hull began to pulse with memories and feelings shared by every crew member, moments of compassion, acts of kindness, the joy of helping others. But it wasn't enough. The Collective's void ships pressed forward, their darkness consuming the light of their broadcasts. Then Jade remembered something from her childhood, a lesson her grandmother had taught her about the true nature of compassion. "Sir, requesting permission to modify the protocol." "Explain." "We're showing them what compassion looks like, but we need to help them feel it again." She turned to face her captain. "I propose linking directly with their consciousness. Not to fight them, but to understand them." Tanaka's eyes widened. "That level of connection, it could destroy your mind." "Or save everyone," Jade countered. The Covenant protected us because we showed them kindness. Maybe we can do the same for the collective. After a moment's hesitation, Tanaka nodded. Do it. Jade closed her eyes and opened her mind fully to the neural interface. Through the Covenant's technology, she reached out not with weapons or shields, but with understanding. She felt the collective's consciousness, ancient, lonely, empty. They had sacrificed emotion for power, connection for control, until they forgot what they'd lost. So she showed them. She shared not just memories of kindness, but the feeling of helping others, the warmth of connection, the strength found in caring for those different from yourself. And she listened, feeling their long-buried pain, their forgotten capacity for empathy. Other humans in the fleet joined her, each adding their own experiences of compassion. The Covenant added their memories of humanity's unexpected kindness centuries ago. Together, they reached out not to destroy the collective, but to remind them of what they once were. At first, nothing seemed to happen. The void ships continued their advance, darkness spreading. But then, something changed. A flicker of light appeared within the darkness. Then another. And another. Energy signatures shifting, someone reported. The collective. They're responding. Jade felt it through the neural link. The awakening of ancient emotions, the remembrance of connection. The void ships began to transform, their consuming darkness replaced by a soft, pulsing light. The battle ended not with destruction, but with understanding. The void collective, touched by humanity's willingness to reach out even in the face of annihilation, remembered what they had lost. Their ships withdrew not in defeat, but in transformation. In the aftermath, as the combined fleet assessed their incredible victory, High Guardian Lysandra appeared on the Compassion's Light's bridge. Centuries ago, your species earned our protection through an act of kindness, the ethereal being announced. Today, you have proven that our faith in humanity was well placed. You faced an enemy that could have been destroyed with sufficient force, but instead chose to understand and help them. This is why we protected you. Not because you were weak, but because you understood a truth that many advanced civilizations have forgotten. True strength lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the courage to show compassion even to those who seem least deserving of it. Lieutenant Jade Wong stood at attention as Lysandra approached her. Your willingness to risk yourself to understand rather than destroy embodies the very quality that made humanity worth protecting. Now, we offer you a new role, not as the protected, but as partners in protecting others. Jade looked around the bridge, seeing humans and ethereal beings working together, their differences becoming their strengths. Through the neural link, she could feel the transformed collective ships in the distance, their crews beginning their own journey of rediscovery. In her personal log that night, Jade wrote, "We thought the Covenant protected us because we were special. But they protected us because we showed them that being special isn't what matters. What matters is being kind. Today, we didn't just save Earth or the protection network. We proved that the greatest power in the universe isn't the ability to destroy worlds or consume consciousness. It's the ability to reach out to those different from ourselves and show them that no matter how far they've fallen, there's always a path back to connection." As Earth celebrated its first official contact with its longtime guardians, ships of light could be seen in the night sky. Human, Covenant, and transformed collective vessels patrolling together. They were no longer protectors and protected, but partners in preserving the most powerful force in the universe, the capacity for compassion that had saved them all.